to start this, so I'm just going to say it straight. 3 weeks ago, I drove a bus full of dead people to a cemetery at 1 in the morning, and I nearly didn't make it back. I know how that sounds, I know, but I'm posting this because I haven't slept properly since it happened, and I need to put it somewhere outside of my own head before it completely destroys me. This is everything, exactly as it happened. I'm not exaggerating a single detail, so some context. My name is Sarah. I'm 34. I used to drive for a private transport company until they laid off our entire department 2 months ago. 20 drivers, one afternoon, gone. I have a husband named Daniel and a 5-year-old daughter named Lily. At the time this happened, we had been surviving on almost nothing for weeks. Our savings were completely gone. Lily had been sick for 4 days, running a fever that wouldn't break, and we couldn't afford the clinic visit. Our landlord had come that morning and banged on the door so hard the frame shook. Rent? Tomorrow, or you're on the street. I sat on the edge of the bed after he left and just stared at the floor. Lily was crying in the next room. Daniel was trying to comfort her with nothing. No medicine, no food, nothing. I told Daniel I would come home with money. I didn't know how. I just knew I couldn't come back empty-handed again. I walked to the bus terminal on the edge of town and spent the entire day begging other drivers to let me take a shift. Just one shift. Just enough for rent and medicine. Nobody said yes. By midnight, the terminal was completely empty. Every bus locked up. Every driver gone home. Just me sitting on a wooden bench under a flickering street light, staring at nothing. That's when the car pulled in. I almost didn't notice it at first because it made no sound at all, just appeared at the edge of the terminal, long and black and moving so smoothly it looked like it was floating over the concrete. It stopped directly in front of me. The back window rolled down. I want to describe the man inside accurately because I've been trying to describe him to people ever since, and nobody fully gets it until I say the eyes part. He was old, dark suit, silver walking stick, white hair. Everything about him was neat and composed and completely still, but his eyes were white. Not the white of someone who's blind, not cloudy or milky, just white, completely. Like someone had replaced his eyes with smooth white stones, and yet he was looking directly at me. I could feel it. He was looking at me precisely. He said, and I remember this exactly, you need money, driver. His voice sounded like something dry being crushed. I stood up immediately. Yes, sir, I said. I'm a good driver. Cars, buses, trucks, anything. Do you have work? He reached into his jacket and pulled out a stack of cash. Clean new bills. More money than I'd seen in months in one place. $1,000, he said. Half now. Half when the job is done. My brain stopped working properly at that point. $500 right now. Right now, tonight. That was rent. That was medicine for Lily. That was food for 2 weeks. What's the job, I asked. A bus, he said. Large luxury bus. You'll find it at the old bridge on the edge of town. Shift starts at exactly 1 a.m. Drive my passengers to their final destination. I heard the words, final destination. I didn't pause on them the way I should have. I said, I'll do it. He held up one finger. There are rules, he said. This is the part I keep replaying. Because standing there at midnight in an empty terminal with a desperate brain and a sick daughter at home. I heard these rules and I still said yes. That tells you everything about what desperation does to your judgment. Rule 1. Open the doors at exactly 1 a.m. Not before. Not after. Rule 2. Do not speak to the passengers. Don't greet them. Don't ask them anything. Keep your mouth shut completely. Then he leaned forward. Rule 3 is the most important, he said. While you are driving, never look in the rear-view mirror. Keep your eyes on the road ahead. Do not look at the passengers behind you. He paused. If you look at them, you will become one of them. I felt something cold move through me, a proper physical chill, not nerves, something deeper. But I looked at the money. I thought of Lily. I said, I accept. He gave me the cash and a heavy silver key and said, the bus is black. It is waiting for you. Do not fail me. The window rolled up. The car drove away. I looked down at the spot where it had been parked. No tire marks. Nothing. Like it had never been there. I stood there for about 30 seconds, just breathing. Then I ran to the 24-hour pharmacy around the corner and bought Lily's medicine. I bought bread and milk. I ran all the way home, woke Daniel up, put everything on the table, and put the rest of the cash on the bed. He stared at it. Sarah, where did you get this? Night job, I said. I have to go right now. I'll be back before sunrise. Give Lily her medicine. Pay the landlord tomorrow morning. I kissed him before he could say anything else and walked back out. I should have stayed. I should have just stayed. The old bridge was about 40 minutes walk from the terminal, past the last street lights, past the last houses, into the part of town where the road becomes a dirt track and the trees close in on both sides. I heard nothing out here, no cars, no dogs, no wind, just my own footsteps on gravel. Then I saw it, parked under a massive dead tree, the bus. I want to be honest about my reaction when I first saw it because I think it matters. My first thought wasn't, this is strange, or this looks wrong. My first thought was, that's the biggest bus I've ever seen. It was enormous, painted completely black, not a scratch on it, windows so dark they looked like black walls rather than glass. It sat there in the dark, completely silent, and I remember thinking it looked less like a vehicle and more like a building that had decided to move. I walked up to the door, put the silver key in, turned it, climbed up into the driver's seat. The smell hit me immediately. Not diesel, not rubber. Something sweet and old. Like flowers in a room that had been closed for years. Like something that used to be alive trying to smell alive again. I sat down, started the engine, checked the clock on the dashboard. 12:45 a.m., 15 minutes. I looked up at the rearview mirror. It was huge, wide, positioned perfectly to show every single seat behind me in one clean reflection. Just looking at that empty mirror made my stomach feel wrong. I knew myself. I knew that the second I heard anything behind me, my eyes would go straight to it without thinking. I couldn't let that happen, so I did something that I think is the only reason I'm alive to write this post. I pulled off my jacket, reached up, and tied it around the rearview mirror as tight as I could. Even if I tried to look, I'd only see fabric. I gripped the steering wheel and watched the clock. 12:58. The fog came from nowhere. Thick white fog rolling in from the trees, covering the bridge, covering the road until I couldn't see more than 10 feet ahead of the bus. 12:59. The temperature dropped. Fast. The bus went from cool to genuinely cold in under a minute. I rubbed my arms and immediately regretted using my jacket on the mirror. 1 a.m. I pressed the door button. The doors swung open. Silence. Then a shape moved in the fog. I'm going to be honest with you. Writing this part is hard, not because I don't remember it, because I remember it too clearly, and I've been trying not to think about it, and now I'm making myself think about it again. The first passenger was an old woman. She wore a white dress. Not cream, white. And it seemed to catch what little light existed in that fog. She stepped onto the bus without a sound, not just quietly, silently. No footsteps, no breathing. She drifted past my seat and brought a wave of cold air with her, so intense it felt like walking past an open freezer. She sat at the very back. I stared straight ahead through the windshield, hands on the wheel, lips pressed shut. Then the next one came. Tall man, white suit, eyes sunken so deep into his skull they were just shadow, skin the color of ash. Then a woman, holding a baby wrapped in white cloth, a teenage boy, a little girl with a broken wooden doll. They kept coming, steady and silent, out of the fog. I counted in my peripheral vision because I refused to turn my head. 30, 35, 40, every seat full. 40 people in a bus and not one sound. No shuffling, no coughing, no breathing. You know what 40 people sound like on a bus? Even if everyone is trying to be quiet, there's always something. Someone shifting, someone's stomach, someone exhaling. There was nothing. Just cold and silence and the weight of 40 people pressing the bus toward the ground. Then the doors slammed shut by themselves. I put the bus in gear and drove. I've tried to describe what that drive was like, and I always fail. After about 20 minutes, the trees on both sides grew taller. The branches reached inward over the road, forming a tunnel of twisted black wood above the bus. The headlights barely touched the fog ahead. Then the smell changed. The sweet old flower smell disappeared. Something heavier replaced it. Wet, earthy, like soil after rain, like an open grave. I covered my nose with my shirt and kept driving. Then I looked at the GPS. Cemetery Road. Every driver in the city knows Cemetery Road. Nobody drives it at night. There are stories. There have always been stories. And I was on it, in a black bus, with 40 silent passengers behind me. It hit me all at once. I wasn't driving people somewhere. I was driving the dead back to their graves. I was the ferryman. I wanted to stop. I wanted to open the door and run. My brain was screaming at me to stop the bus and get out and run and never stop running, but my body wouldn't listen. My foot stayed on the accelerator like it was locked there. My hands stayed on the wheel. Something was holding me in that seat, some heavy, invisible force keeping me driving forward. Then the silence broke. Driver. The whisper came from directly behind my right ear. So close I felt the cold of it on my neck. I clamped my jaw shut. "We are so cold, driver." Another voice from the seat right behind me. "Why is your jacket on the mirror? Take it down. We want to see your face." I stared at the road, gripped the wheel so hard my knuckles hurt. Then more voices. 10, 20, all 40 of them whispering at once. "Sarah." My whole body went rigid. They knew my name. "Sarah, look at us. We are so lonely. Just one look. Turn around, driver." The urge to look was like a physical force pulling my head back. My neck muscles burned from the effort of keeping my chin down. It wasn't just wanting to look. It was like gravity had reversed, and up was the only direction my body wanted to go. Then the knot in my jacket came undone. I felt it happen. The jacket dropped into my lap. The mirror was uncovered. I could feel it above me, open, reflecting, pointing directly at 40 dead passengers. I drove my chin into my chest and locked my jaw and kept my eyes on the dirt track below me. Then a new voice, and I felt my heart physically stop. "Mummy, small, sweet, scared. Mummy, it's so dark back here, I'm scared. Why won't you look at me? Mummy. Lily." It was Lily's voice. Not similar, not close, exact. Every note of it. The way she says "mummy," with a little catch at the end. I started crying immediately. I couldn't stop it. Hot tears just came. "Please, Mummy, just look at me in the mirror. I want to see your face." My chin started lifting. I felt it happening. My eyes started moving upward, past the steering wheel, past the dashboard, toward that mirror. And then one thought broke through everything. Lily is at home. Lily is at home in her bed with Daniel. Daniel gave her the medicine tonight. Lily is at home. This is not my daughter. I bit down on my own lip, hard, tasted blood. The pain was sharp and sudden and real, and it cut through whatever was pulling my head up. I drove my chin back down. Look at us. All 40 voices at once, a wall of sound. The bus shook, the windows rattled. I felt the vibration in my teeth. Then through the fog, light. 2 iron gates, massive, old, standing wide open. Beyond them, thousands of white tombstones disappearing into the dark. I hit the brakes. The bus stopped 1 inch from the gates. Then, silence. Real silence. The screaming stopped like someone had cut a wire. I pressed the door button with a shaking finger. The doors swung open, and one by one I felt them leave, drifting past me, the cold fading with each one, the smell dissolving, the weight lifting from the bus. I counted under my breath. 10, 20, 30, 39. I waited. 1 minute, 2. The bus was warm again. The smell was gone. I could hear my own breathing. I let out the longest breath of my life. I reached for the door button. A hand came down on my right shoulder, hard, cold, iron fingers digging in. Right beside my ear, a voice whispered, "You forgot to collect the fare, driver." I stopped breathing completely. The 40th passenger had not left. It was standing directly behind me. The grip tightened. Turn around. It hissed. "Look at me." I'm going to stop there for now. Not because I'm being dramatic, because my hands are shaking so badly I can barely type, and I need a minute. But I made it home. I'm here. I'm writing this. That's all I'll say for now. What happened in the next 60 seconds is the part I've told exactly 2 people in real life. Both of them went quiet in a way that told me they believed me, even though they didn't want to. I'll post the rest tomorrow. What I will say is this. I collected the other $500. I don't know how. I don't know who put it in my jacket pocket. But it was there when I got home. Daniel was asleep. Lily's fever had broken overnight. She was breathing normally for the first time in 4 days. I sat in the kitchen until sunrise, not moving. I have not driven at night since. And every time someone offers me easy money for a strange job, I think about that hand on my shoulder and I walk away. Whatever you're going through, however desperate things get, some jobs are not worth taking. Some passengers you don't want in your vehicle, and some fares you should never collect. Part 2, coming tomorrow. If you want to know what turned around in that seat and what it said when I finally saw its face, comment below. And whatever you do, don't drive at night.